Hello everyone, my name is Robert and welcome to my Ensemble Startup Series. I've learned a lot of lessons by starting up my own ensembles, and I want you to be able to learn them and to learn from my mistakes. And so with that, this video is basically just about how to start thinking about starting up an ensemble. And two of the biggest questions that you should ask yourself are why and what. Why is incredibly important because this will get you through the hard times, and it fundamentally informs everything that you're doing. Why do you want to start an ensemble? And if you can't answer that succinctly, then you should probably reconsider doing it. Secondly, what? What exactly is it that you want to do? So what kind of ensemble do you want to start? Is it a brass quintet or a full symphony orchestra? And then what do you want to do with it? So do you want to bring classical music to people in underserved areas? Do you want to make money from it? Those are all very important questions that will help you help determine what exactly you're going to do with the ensemble. Next, you should think about whether you want to be a non-profit or a for-profit ensemble. And of course, traditionally, classical music has favored the non-profit business model, but it's important to note, of course, that non-profits are still businesses. They form as businesses and then are granted non-profit status from the IRS and the state governments. For-profit businesses, of course, are more traditional, like the tech companies and your local mom and pop stores. And although they tend to be more favored in music industry, like pop music and record labels and whatnot, there are lots of reasons to go with it. And so it's just something to think about, and I'll have future videos on the pros and cons of both of those. Next, you should start thinking about the four things that any ensemble needs, which are musicians, music, venue, and audience. And so of course, musicians, where are you going to find them? Who is going to be in your ensemble? Do you want to use the union? Are you not going to use the union? Those are all important questions to start thinking about when it comes to musicians. Second, music. Where are you going to get the music from? Unless you're doing something electronic or completely improvisatory, most likely there's going to be sheet music involved for the musicians. And so that means that you're going to have to deal with the licenses, with copyright. Typically, if you're performing Beethoven, you're going to have a lot less to think about when it comes to copyright, but nevertheless, it's an incredibly complex topic that we'll go into more in depth in future videos. Venues. There are many different kinds of venues out there, from traditional concert halls to non-traditional places like bars. I've heard several success stories of string quintets and choirs going into bars and having a lot of fun and having the audience really react to it. So you can be creative in where you want to perform at. At the same time, those sorts of decisions are going to affect your cost, who you have to approach, how many people you can fit into the area. So say a brass quintet, for instance, is going to typically want a much smaller venue than a full symphony orchestra, where the orchestra just won't fit into a smaller venue. So those are important questions to start thinking about. Where do you want to perform, and not just what kinds of places, but also where specifically. Are you going to be located somewhere in California? Are you going to be a traveling orchestra? Are you going to go overseas? Those are all important questions that all have different impacts for your new organization. And then finally, of course, the audience is incredibly important, and it's something that we as musicians tend to put until the very last part, where whereas we should really be spending a lot of time thinking about them from the beginning. And what you should do is you should think about who exactly is going to come to your concert. Will it be kids, adults, professionals, gamers if you're a video game orchestra? Will it be Beethoven fans? Those sorts of questions help you figure out how exactly you're going to approach that audience, and what need is it for you to exist, and why should that audience come see you. So it's important to have a better idea as to who your audience actually is. Finally, we can talk about some things that you can do right now. And first of all, what I would encourage you to do, if you don't already, is to start making your bed and cleaning your room, and pretty much every day. And if you can't keep your own personal space orderly, there's no way that you'll be able to handle the organization that a larger ensemble requires, even with say a trio or a quintet. Next, I would encourage you to take up some sort of either breathing practice or a meditational practice. Basically what you need is something that allows you to disconnect from the broader world, and to just take a few minutes for yourself. By unplugging, it will reduce your stress and it will help kickstart your creative process as well. And along those lines, you should also have some sort of exercise regimen. Going for a walk every day, getting out and physically doing something. By doing both of those, your stress will generally be less, you will be able to sleep better at night, and when you go focus on the challenges at hand, you'll be able to just focus on those challenges rather than worrying about all the other things that you will undoubtedly have to worry about. But ultimately, you can only solve problems one at a time. So then, finally, I would encourage you to go check out Seth Godin's Startup School. And with this is it's one of his podcasts where he goes over all sorts of basic business ideas, and it's a great crash course for people who have no business background, and especially for musicians. It's very approachable, so I would encourage you to check that out. So I will put a link in the description below so that you can download a document that has all these questions and more to kind of think about, to just get the planning phase going. Also, you can leave me a comment. Let me know what you're working on. I want to hear about it, and let me know if there's a specific question that you might have right now that I can help you with. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.